Right, everybody, this is episode 6 of my Ferguson TED20 rebuild. The last episode I left you with me just putting the carburetor on and connecting the linkages up. I've connected the choke up like you saw in the fuel line, but all this is now connected, all of the throttle on the top. Hope it's set right, but it looks the same if I look on this tractor. Same as on the 35. Slightly different mechanism, but same principle, but it all revs up fine by the looks of it. So you turn that, turns out, and then releases the little governor linkage here, I think. As long as that goes back, because on the other tractor it wasn't doing that for some time, and that's why it wasn't working. It wasn't revving low enough. Okay, this episode, just need to think what I'm going to be doing. I'll put the top one of these back on, see the gaskets come. A little bit of sealant on there, put the top bit on, put the hose on. I should be able to put the radiator back on. I'm just thinking what else I need to do. I changed the oil filter. I don't know if I've already shown you that. I'll show it again. Right there. The parts table is looking a bit scarce now. I've got to put the heat shield back on. Just about to put the exhaust pipe on, the heat shield. I've got to put the fuel tank back on, and then it should be nearly ready to go. Put the battery on. Yeah, okay. I'll figure out what I'm going to do, get some gasket sealant and start the camera again. Okay, so I was going to put the heat shield on, but I haven't got the right parts to put the exhaust back together quite yet, so I'm going to put this gasket on and put the top bit of the exhaust on. So the gasket sealant I'll just put away. This is all, look, if I can show the box, it says Loctite produced for Massey Ferguson, which is quite nice. Keep the box, might be, well, it's like a little collector's item. It also says it on the bottle. You can read that along the bottom. But I'll get the part, which is just over here, with its two studs and lock washers. That down the top. Just put a thin bead of gasket sealant on this side. Not too much, just enough. It should be coming out a bit quicker. Might just be because it's a hotter day. Yep, and this one. Put it down like that. This is probably a bit overkill, to be honest, putting gasket sealant and gasket in the whole lot, but I don't want it to leak, so I'm only putting a very small amount so it doesn't all clog the cooling system and the thermostat up. Because like I said, the other tractor is completely gummed up with gasket sealant. Not that dropping it. Put that there on the fuel tank. Okay, that's that lined up. If that's actually going to touch, should do. Smear it around a bit, because I don't think it's quite going to. There we go. I'll just lower this down onto the top. If I can get it in, that is. I'll get these started and then I'll. No, hang on. Now I'll get these started and then I'll come back to you. Avoid the boredom. Okay, well, that's all tightened down. Double check the nuts. Don't do them up too stupidly tight, otherwise it might crack the aluminium or break it off. That's good on there. Take the starting handle out, it'll be easy to put that radiator on. Okay, do most of the stuff now just with a 1/2 inch spanner, make sure they're tight before I put all the radiator back on. They should already be tight, but just as a double check. That one's a little bit. Okay. here. Okay, something I'm going to do, I was going to just put the radiator on there, and there's something I've been told to do. I need to clean all, there's all stuff stuck to it, I didn't realise that before. And I'm going to flush through it. Right, so I'll do all of that, and then I'll come back to you and put it on. Okay, so I'll start with putting the radiator on. I've just flushed it out. I've put a hose pipe in the top and left it there for 5 minutes or so, and then changed it round. But we've got 11/16 socket, just have to crawl underneath and tighten these radiator bolts. This one's a bit tight compared to the other one, but hopefully it isn't cross-threaded because it went on. It's a bit rusty. Yeah, it's going alright. I've already put the top hose, hooked that on, so that means I haven't got to worry about trying to get that to line up. This one's going on easily compared to the other one, but it's fine. As long as they're on, they shouldn't have to come off soon, he says. Well, if the socket wants to stay on. Next week or so, then the thermal paste stuff for the exhaust should come, if that's tight. And then I'll put the exhaust on and the heat shield. But in the meantime, I can get this radiator on, and I think I might be able to get the fuel tank on. Yeah, I must be able to get the fuel tank on. So that's tight now. And if I can just grab the camera. Put this top hose on, this is the new one. I'll just tighten these up, these Jubilee clips. Screwdrivers are down here. See, it's like christening them, because they've all got oil on them now. Right, I won't be able to tighten these up with the camera in my hand. So if I can get that angle right. Which I won't. Right, I'll just do that and then I'll get back. Okay, well now I've just got that hose tightened up. I'll put the little stay onto the radiator. Just grab 2 little copper pins, brand new ones. It's the one thing I can't skimp on. If I can get this to fit, and I must have tightened that up more. Yes, we'll have to undo them and pull it out. I'll get back to you. So this is the last radiator hose, the 2 Jubilee clips. See, it's another new one. Get the screwdriver back, wherever I left that, if I can see it anywhere. Yes, it's just there. Okay. See, this is the one that goes from the bottom of the radiator into the block here. This one was replaced last time all this was taken apart. The lights wire. Just one end on it. I don't know whether it's this one over or under, but I'll put it over the top. It dripped on by the radiator. That isn't too fun. And that's that end on. That's that end on. Pull the little Jubilee clips down. I think originally these should have been spring clips, like I don't know if you can see on the video at the moment. If you go back a few seconds, you can see the top piece. There's one spring clip. I think they're called spring clips, but they're like spring Jubilee clip things, which are more sort of like threaded all the way along, like a little piece of threaded, like a little screw inside 2 rings. You can probably see it, but you know what I mean. Originally, they're a lot more expensive to buy now, so this one's just got Jubilee clips on it, although these are the ones that are on it, so still getting driven by the radiator. I'll just be a little bit on the outside. I never wiped it off properly. There's all this original paint on the radiator. It looks quite nice, to be honest, in my opinion. So now I haven't got to. That's why I'm a bit resistant to replacing it. And it is easy to replace, but you can just go along with a little screwdriver and push all the fins back down straight. Shouldn't take that long. Push that little clip up on there. After this I'll put the air hose to the carburettor, and then this is all of the hoses, I think, on. All of the stuff that's held on by Jubilee clips anyway, because I put this bypass hose on ages ago. It should be maybe in episode 3 or something like that. Can't remember. I've only as of now, I've only uploaded part 1. So, doing all this well in advance, cleaning behind the radiator in my own, no, the distributor in my own time. A little bit of sawdusty muck in there. But yeah, another hose on. It's the cooling system back together. Okay, so I've got the bolts threaded on. Just get out an 11/16 spanner, just this one, and just tighten up this fuel bolt. This is the petrol tank one. I haven't put, there's one I've got with a filter and one without. You can buy these new with filters, but these are the original ones and they're nice and brass, so I don't think I really want to muck about with it. And they don't lock up very often. Maybe I might have to clean these out once a year, a couple of times a year. Unless I'm doing a lot of work on TPO with it, it's usually fine. Just tighten this one up. Get the other one caught, and I can put the fuel tap on and the fuel pipe on. There's a bit of rusty muck in there, but I'll blow it out of the airline and it should be alright. Tighten this one up and I'll do the other one off camera. Now take a bit of petrol in it, get a bit of coolant in it, and just wait on the exhaust paste to see if it will run. Got to do that up bolt tight so then I can move it around to get the fuel pipe on. Right, well, I'll get back. Alright, sorry about that last bit of video, it was mainly just my back, but I'll give you a bit of better look at the fuel bowl now. I did a test, I filled the little tank up and I looked round, and when the fuel was off it was flooding it out of the carburettor through the intake. So I've taken the little spring and the little brass nuts off the back, and the actual piece is here. The cork doesn't look damaged, but I've ordered another one that should come in a week, so that, yeah, that's not that old, but, and then this is all here. That didn't leak surprisingly, but I expect probably will now. My new exhaust sealant's come, so I'm waiting for the cork in there to come, and I'm going to take the carburettor apart. I won't film that, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. But take the carburettor apart, take these few screws out of the top, take this off, and then the float that's in there, take the float out, clean it all out. And then, because that's probably why it was flooding, I don't know if there's any fuel left in there. No, it was draining into that can. But the fuel tank's quite steady compared to what it was before. Radiator's on. I should probably fill it up coolant, but there's nothing in there. Yeah, I can do that for a minute, give me something to do. But then I'm just waiting for those gaskets and the little bit of cork, and then it will be ready to go. Right, so what can I film? If I can set the camera up over there while I'm putting the exhaust on.